Hello, everybody. I've been reading my story. The the title is The P.O.E. Protectors of Earth and a Gateway in the Basement. And I'm on chapter 4 now. It, so, and if you want to read it, you go to wattpad.com. The link is on my Instagram page and TikTok too, if you want to check it out. Okay? Chapter 4. Outside an old abandoned building on the outskirts of San Francisco, California, Rebecca is sealed in the passenger seat of her fiance's green Jeep Cherokee. Are we all locked and loaded? Rebecca asks on the radio to the rest of the team. Yes, ma'am. We're just waiting on your orders. The walkie-talkie she has held in her left hand speaks back. Damn it, Becky. This is my team of hunters. Shouldn't I be the person to give the orders? Carl is sitting in the driver's seat, loading the shotgun. Sorry, it's a force of habit. I mean, I am the highest ranking field agent on this mission, anyways. You will never let me forget that, will you? They both exit the vehicle. Is everybody ready to kill these vampires? Carl motivates his team as they all follow him and get out of the vehicles as well. The sun is at its highest peak of the day, so the vampires should be sleeping. We are locked and loaded. Carl runs towards the building screaming like a madman, with his entire team following his advance in the same manner. Rebecca takes the rear to make sure that nothing sneaks up behind them. Once they get inside the very dark interior, it makes them realize that all of their prey is well into their sleeping process. So knowing that this is the perfect opportunity to strike, that is exactly what they do. Carl takes his sword like an axe and decapitates the closest vampire to him. After a couple of his teammates do the same thing, the vampires they have not killed yet are awake now and they realize that they are under attack. So they get up out of their lying positions and begin to fight back. For a while, the vampire slayers stand their ground and kill most of their enemies without any casualties. But while one of the newest members of the group is busy chopping off one of the vampire's heads, another one creeps up behind him without him noticing and digs his razor-sharp teeth into his left shoulder blade. Rebecca notices a couple of her fiance's team members are getting bit, so she quickly makes a move on the vampire she is fighting and takes his head. Then, without any hesitation, she decapitates both of her fellow field agents. It discomforts her to take her friends' lives, but she does not want them to turn into a vampire and try to bite her even less. With the room now empty of the undead, Carl and Rebecca walk out of the building with what is left of the team behind them. Is it just me, or was that way too easy? Rebecca asks as they exit the deserted building completely. It was too easy. I guess it's because there wasn't a master demon inside. Now that bothers me more than anything. Carl enters the driver's seat of his Jeep Cherokee as Rebecca enters the passenger side. With their mission now complete, they begin to drive back to their hideout. Once Carl parks his Jeep into a parking space outside their hideout, Rebecca is the first one to exit their vehicle. As she is walking towards the building, she checks her phone and realizes that her grandfather has been trying to get a hold of her. It must be important because he never calls her just to chit-chat. So she calls him back to see what the emergency is. Without telling or asking anybody, she enters her and her fiance's shared bedroom so she can have some privacy. Field agents tend to get rowdy when they accomplish a mission. Big or small, it does not matter. Hello, Headmaster. How is the East Coast treating you? We are having troubles with a new, powerful Master Demon. I'm not sure if your brother can handle how bad things are in Sykesville all by himself. How powerful is this Master Demon? A lot of things are going on around here. We're getting pretty knee-deep in vamps, and they could use me around here. I am confident that Carl and his team can handle things just fine by themselves. They are well trained after all. Nick, however, is by himself and could use your help a lot more. Yes, sir. I will take the next flight out there. Any special instructions or anything I can bring with me that might help? I will email you the same portfolio that Nick has in his possession. But other than that, I hope you have a nice trip. Call me when you get there so I know what's going on. You know me, I like to be informed. "I will, headmaster." Both of them hang up their phone in unison. Rebecca then places her cell phone back in her left rear jean pocket and begins to pack a bag for the upcoming mission. What other mission is more important than this one? Especially when I strongly believe the master vampire is still out there. Carl sneaks up behind her and wraps his left arm around her waistline. "My brother's on a mission all by himself, and how it sounds, it's just as dangerous as yours. There's only one difference. You have a team, and I am all he has." She kisses him passionately, then backs away from him and over towards the fax machine. "I'm guessing those are your objectives and location of where this dangerous mission is." "So where are you going?" After skimming through the facts for a moment, she suddenly realizes how important this mission is. "It looks like I'm going back to Maryland." She hands Carl the facts. He is a team leader and her fiance, so he has a right and the clearance to know what the rest of the Protectors of Earth presently know. "By just reading this facts, it tells me that the mission you are about to go on is far more dangerous than the one you're on now." He hands Rebecca the email, but grasps her hand after she tries to let his go. "What are you doing?" But before she can say anything else, he pulls her towards him and gives her a very passionate kiss on her lips. "You know that I have to leave." She pushes away from him gently. "What? Can't a guy who loves his girl give her a passionate goodbye kiss?" "Have one more drink with us, Becky," a member of the Vampire Slayer team announces. "What the hell? I have a couple of minutes before my cab arrives." She grabs a shot glass full of bourbon and chugs it down with one gulp. She then picks up the full, refreshing beer that is sitting right next to her now empty shot glass. "Well, fellas, seeing that this will be the last drink I have with you for a while, let me say something." "Speech," a guy in the background retorts. "Speech." The Slayer sitting on the couch quickly agrees, taking another shot. "No speeches, just a few words of encouragement. Kill as many supernatural beings as you can while living as much as possible in this exciting but yet harsh life. So keep your swords sharp, your guns full, and your skin unbit." She takes a deep breath and then drinks the glass of beer within a couple gulps. After it is empty, she sets it upon the coffee table right alongside her empty shot glass. "I will see you guys another time. Stay sharp, my fellow agents." She grabs her belongings and exits the apartment. "I might as well walk you down to your cab." Carl closes the door after he walks through the empty doorway. "As you wish." So both of them walk outside and realize that the cab is already in park out front, waiting for her to get in. "I will call you once I get control of the situation out there." She plants one last passionate kiss upon his lips. "You better." He opens the back seat door and allows her to comfortably get seated until he closes the door of the yellow checkered taxi cab. "Becky, one last thing." He takes her hand with his own. "What's that?" "Be careful." "I will, and you do the same." Rebecca rolls up the window and the taxi cab drives away. Carl walks back inside his hideout, only to find out what's left of his team is fighting for their lives. The rest of them are being devoured or changing into vampires. He quickly takes out his sword and begins to do what they pay him to do. What is left of the rest of his team see him fighting for his life, and they in turn do the same. One by one, the vampires turn to dust. Although, while they are now starting to get the upper hand, people are still getting bit. And once they get bit and die, they turn into a vampire themselves. So they too have to be beheaded. They get down to about even numbers, and they actually start to believe that they will get out alive. "We almost have it, Carl. Only a few more vampires we need to kill." The guy standing to Carl's right sees hope. "I still have a concern. After all those vampires we have killed tonight, we have not seen the master yet." The four vampires that are left looks at something behind them, and they stand in ease. Somebody important is behind them, and Carl can take one guess of who it might be. "Agents of the Protectors of Earth, I bid you greetings." Somebody speaks in a very calm voice behind them, so they turn around and see the master vampire looking right into their eyes. "So you finally show your face. My guess is that the warehouse that we hit earlier today was a diversion, wasn't it?" Carl was beginning to put two and two together. Actually, it was my dear enemy. I needed time to motivate somebody. Meet my beast. The master vampire stands aside. A werewolf enters the door. His teeth are already out, with drool dripping down from them. His eyes are yellow and filled with carnage. But once he is sitting next to the master vampire, he totally behaves. So, I'm guessing that you are going to feed us to your pet. The guy on Carl's left knows what's coming. You guessed it, and he is hungry. For what purpose? Even though Carl and his group know they're going to die, they are still going to fight until the very end. To send a message to the protectors of Earth, angels, and heaven, that the dark side has a genius master plan brewing that nothing will be able to stop us from making Earth our buffet. You three will show everybody that all evil has joined forces. What do you mean by join forces? Carl figures if he can stall the master vampire long enough, he could try to figure out a way out of the situation. You know what? I don't have to explain anything to you. The master vampire quickly sprints behind Carl. He takes a huge bite out of his neck and begins to drink his blood. Once he finishes, he allows Carl to drop upon the hard surface of the floor. You son of a bitch. Why couldn't you just stick your hounds on me? Carl places his left hand onto his neck. Now I'm going to become a monster just like you. That is correct. Now lock him into a bedroom. Once his love comes back, he will be so thirsty he would drink her blood just to end the agony. The master vampire orders his minions. No! Carl is forcefully pushed into the nearest bedroom, which just happens to be his own. Then they lock the door from the outside, and the master vampire allows the werewolf to feast upon the other two slayers. This is the first time a being from purgatory has joined up with a being from hell. He, being the master vampire, still knows that he cannot trust the demon, even if he is told by his mother that he cannot trust him. He has a strong feeling that there is a much bigger plague being brewed if his orders are to work this closely with a very powerful but yet very cowardice demon like Balthazar is turning out to be. On chapter 4, like, comment, share. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time. Bye.